Saturday, everybody. Jeremy Ritz here. Courage pays better than fear trading. Just wanted to set you up for next week in terms of the data that's going to be coming out that's going to drive the markets. And so just going to run through here quickly on that economic calendar available in TradingView that everybody can access. So if you have TradingView, click on that calendar icon and you can see the data that's coming out. It's all the data from 1 bar, which means it's not super significant, to 3 bars, which means it's really significant and can drive the markets. And so just want to show you Monday through Friday what we're looking at in terms of the big data. It also shares with us Fed speakers. And don't forget that next week is also going to be the start of earnings reports. And if you haven't checked out the Traders podcast for this week, please do so, because I go into why I think earnings could send us on the next leg lower. But with that said, let's check out what data is going to be reported next week. All right, so here we go. Here is the calendar feature in TradingView that we're looking at right now. Again, you can see up top here, you can change this. You could switch over to the following week, the week after. So you can toggle back and forth. You can get an idea of what's ahead. But we're looking at this upcoming week, Monday, April 7th. And we can see here on Monday, we don't have a lot of data that's significant coming in, but we do have a Fed speaker, Fed Kugler, who will be speaking at 10:30 a.m. I'm sure that this individual will be referencing tariffs and the impact on the economy and the market, but really nothing of true significance there. When we go to April 8th on Tuesday, same thing. We have another Fed speaker here, but nothing really that's going to move the market. And when we go to Wednesday, we're going to get some information related to mortgage rates. We have some crude oil data that'll be coming through, another Fed speaker. But really the most significant piece of information on Wednesday is going to be the FOMC minutes. And really the most significant piece of data that we're going to get here on Wednesday will be at 2 p.m. Eastern time. We are going to get the FOMC minutes, the Federal Open Market Committee minutes from when they met the last time. So we'll get to see whether they were dovish or hawkish in their discussions, and that will definitely have an impact on the markets. Now, when we come over to Thursday, this is when we're really going to get important information, because we are going to get CPI. And this is the inflation rate that's going to show us, are we making progress in getting inflation down, or is it moving higher? And you can see right now that the inflation rate year over year is slated to come in at 2.6%, which is below the 2.8 from previous. And the inflation rate month over month is expected to come in at 0.1% versus 0.2% previous. And if we look at the core inflation rate year over year, it is supposed to come in a tick lower at 3% versus 3.1% last time. And then month over month, we're supposed to be a tick higher in terms of our expectation at 0.3% versus 0.2% last time. So that will move the market. And again, keep in mind with tariffs, that is expected to be inflationary, but we're not going to see that impact for quite some time. You do have another Fed speaker there, Fed Goolsbee, who will be speaking. And then on Friday, when we have the big banks earnings, we're also going to have PPI, which is going to be the producer price inflation report. And month over month, we're expected to tick up there at 0.2% versus 0 last time. And we are also going to get Michigan consumer sentiment, which is going to tell us about how consumers view prospects for their own financial situation. Again, you can find these descriptions here in the calendar. And then we'll close that out with another Fed speaker. So it's going to be a big week in terms of data, because anytime you get inflation information like that, it can drive us higher or lower. So make sure you're prepared for that. And remember that the FOMC minutes are coming out on Wednesday. Mark your calendars and be ready for the moves that can come out of this data. So hopefully this video gets you prepared for what's in store next week. And if you want to learn more about how this next round of earnings is going to impact the markets and potentially send us lower, then check out the most recent edition of the Traders Podcast, episode 50, where I go into why these big earnings reports coming starting on Friday of next week, April 11th, with the big banks, why that potentially can send us lower. Make it a great day.